that are on here that I know are within the last 6 months. But let's open up the lines before I start calling on a few folks and let us know that you just started with Legal Shield since January of this year. And, what do you love about Legal Shield? Who'd like to go first?
Hey, Timmer, I'll start. This is Mike from Raleigh, North Carolina. Timmer was the one who introduced me to the Legal Shield business, and I think for me, it was the service that it provided. I really believe in the service, and there's a lot of things out here that people partake in that they don't really believe in the service. And after searching for so long, just something that I could kind of like partner up with and really believe in, I kind of had given up hope. But when Timmer presented Legal Shield to me, it just made so much sense to me, and I saw the value in it in so many different ways for people who I know personally, uh, people who I didn't know. But I kind of wanted to start introducing Legal Shield to my family and the people who like my loved ones, because this service has the ability to whenever you don't really expect for it to be something that you need, and then when you like able to utilize it and it actually does something for you or saves you or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and I didn't use it and it doesn't help me, and I really believe in this service. So I really do appreciate you, Timmer, for bringing me into the Legal Shield business. I look forward to learning and growing.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Mike. And, Mike's a successful business owner here in Raleigh. He owns a commercial cleaning company, has several large clients. I happen to be one of them. And we just started chatting. That's the way this business grows. Appreciate you, Mike. Who else? Who wants to share? Started with Legal Shield since January of 2021, which again, interesting new year. Last year was definitely a trippy one for sure. Who'd like to share next? I do see Alan right here on my screen. I think you're maybe in that area or somewhat new. I'm not sure. Anybody else that I see?
Well, Tim, I don't think I would have qualified as new. I've been, what, 8 months now?
Well, that's fine. Please go ahead and share, man. You've done some great things. Love to hear your story, Alan.
Well, I mean, where should I start? I mean, it's been a quite journey, and and I still impressed with how far it has gotten. Legal Shield has got me so far, but I couldn't say without the help of Tim and Danny, of course. I owe this success to them, because without them, I can tell you I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now. So it's been great. I mean, it's all about sharing the message. I mean, inviting people, come up with the idea to get people to present the idea, the Legal Shield and ID Shield. And so it's been great. I just got to get those people that I brought in, get the same momentum that I have, and then that would be great. But use the membership, basically, and story sells, right? So, and then share with others and invite other people that has the same mindset, to this opportunity. So it's been great.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And, I mean, here's the thing about, what we do. And he said so many profound things there. And here's what every single person on here needs to do. You need to take some of the energy that Alan has just brought us, some of the energy that Mike brought us about the enthusiasm for the service. Because, we've heard John and Darcy Hoffman say it. If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. See the people and tell the stories. And that's what Alan just said. He said, tell the stories. And that to me is one of the most important facets of our business. And I'm going to go into something on that in just a second. If I have anybody else that's joined us up with us since January wants to share, I'll go ahead and open it up. And if not, I want to go into the next portion of what we're going to talk about tonight.
Hey, Timmer, Darren, I know you're traveling, but are you able to hop on and introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, good evening. Darren Dixon here. Joined this week, in fact. Yeah, I joined much the same as what Alan said about the service. I actually first heard about the service through Alan and then dealt with Tim and Danny. The service offering, I personally feel, is fantastic. And as a business owner with various different businesses here in the state of Texas, I see the benefit of this for everybody. And the way to portray that is through telling the story, much the same as what Alan said. And I'm looking forward to that journey and hopefully making some great inroads with Legal Shield and ID Shield.
Well, listen, Darren, welcome to Legal Shield and welcome to the new associates that have listened, and welcome everybody back to our first team training in many, many months. You know, we made a decision several months ago, you know, throughout the pandemic of 2020 and the amount of Zooms that we were doing, the amount of Zooms that we were promoting for, which is wow, we've experienced such tremendous growth. We subsided from our Wednesday night team training, which we were doing every single week. And now we're doing it once a month. And so congrats for everyone that's on tonight. We talk quite regularly, and it's not only us, but it's in every book that you read that success begins with showing up. Mr. John Drennan has reinforced that to us again, if not once, 1,000 times, that's where the rubber starts to meet the road. And we talk about member stories. You know, Alan mentioned, see the people tell the story. Mike talked about, I've used the service works for me. And what I want to do is spend a couple minutes right now talking about a few membership stories, because you may not have yours and maybe you haven't had one in a while, but guess what? Your story is not the only story. So while I'm going to share a story right now, because I'm excited to share this story today that happened to me personally, I want you to think about, if you've got a membership story, when I finish mine, I'm going to go out to you and just say, hey, I got a quick story. And you want to learn to make that story concise, make it short, because that's the way that testimonials work. So I got a situation right here. And so we had actually just finished a project at this club I'm doing some consulting for. We'd actually paid the construction company $375,000. The job was completed on October 18th of 2020. We sat down with them in December, and they handed us an additional bill for $61,000. And they said that we've got to pay that for work that they did above and beyond, but they didn't do anything above and beyond. They did the project. So I engaged Legal Shield back when they first had sent me this lien that they were going to put on our business. We then the other day received notice that they were going to sue us for $61,000 plus another $18,000 for pain, suffering, damage, attorney fees, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I then sent that over to the attorney I've been doing some work with. He did some research for me, said that they will represent me because we had what used to be the $89 small business plan. I've got 15 hours of pretrial paid for to defend my company in this lawsuit, another 60 hours of trial time. They said that will be more than enough to make this lawsuit go away because we did everything we were supposed to. So that is the power of this Legal Shield membership. And so I'd love to do is go out to a couple folks and just share with us a membership story. Who'd like to go first? I see Lee Perry shaking her hand like this.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, Timmer, because I was on a networking meeting this morning and one of my clients jumped right up and did a testimonial for us. She bought the membership because her husband was getting yanked around at work right before pre-COVID and then got laid off. And she hadn't really used it, but she was having trouble with her cable company, called Legal Shield. And within literally minutes, the issue was resolved and she got her $150 back. Back to you.
That is an awesome, awesome story. I mean, listen, so you got a $150 situation and you got a $78,000 situation. Legal Shield handles them both the exact same way. When you call, they call you back, they listen to your situation, and they help. Who else has got a membership story for us?
Hey, Timmer, John Drennan. I want to go ahead and share one I shared earlier tonight. Most of you have heard it, but I want to make some points about it. It happened in 1998 when I first became a member, and a company owed me $200. They were out of state. They weren't paying me. I engaged my Michigan law firm. They then connected me to my Illinois law firm. That law firm wrote a letter to this company that then paid me the $200 that they had refused to pay me. Here are the points I want to make. Number one, everyone can relate to a $200 issue and to the fact you're not going to hire a $300 an hour attorney for a $200 issue, but I was able to resolve that. Secondly, I used two law firms, my Michigan law firm and the out-of-state Illinois law firm. Thirdly, it was pre-existing, but because it was consultation, document review, and a letter, it was all covered. I didn't get a bill. And final point I want to make, I'm telling that story 23 years later, people can relate to it, and it is still resulting in memberships 23 years later. For the newer people, this is why you want to get a story, and look how quickly I was able to tell it. Back to you, Timmer.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important that we use our membership. I can promise you there are things right now that you've got going on in your life that you could use Legal Shield for, and you still haven't done it yet. Here's what I'm encouraging you. Use your membership, because you will have a relatable story. If it's happening to you, it's happening to somebody else. Anybody else got a story for us?
Hey, Timmer, Mike Thompson, St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Recently, I had an issue with a skincare company where they didn't want to refund the money because the product had me break out. I was allergic apparently to it, and they gave me the runaround. I called the Michigan law firm, and they wrote a letter and resolved it with my money back. Thanks, Timmer.
That's awesome. Skincare gets expensive, I mean, seriously, I'm not even joking, because I know that I do those types of things for my wife. And, listen, sometimes they just figure people will sweep that under the rug, whether it's $100, $90, $80, whatever. They figure they're not going to do anything. And if they figure that 8 out of 10 people that they say they're not going to do anything to, and nothing ever happens, well, guess what? They profited $800. Times those 10, maybe those 2 had some way, maybe one of them knew an attorney, and maybe one of them had Legal Shield. So great story, Mike. Who else?
I have one. A few weeks ago, Annette Zobar from Plainfield, Illinois. A few weeks ago, a lady reached out to me through Facebook. I'm still not sure how she found out about me, but she and her husband, she had a son by a previous relationship, and he was 14 years old, and he wanted to get adopted by his new stepdad. And so they found some sort of do-it-yourself adoption kit somewhere and filled out all the paperwork, actually had a court date, but wanted to talk to an attorney. So they got a membership, they called the attorney the next day, and something they did with this do-it-yourself kit wasn't right. So they're literally putting it on hold, waiting the 3 months, and having Legal Shield do it for just the filing fees. And they're really excited about it. Back to you.
Wow, they'll put anything in a box now, right? Like adopt a kid in a box. I mean, that's kind of wild. But listen, that's the world that we live in today. And so many of these things that pop up, you want to make sure that you speak to somebody, even if you enter into it like this person did, they were smart enough to say, let me just speak to an attorney to make sure things are okay. I got time for maybe 1 or 2 more. Anybody else?
Ted Wilson, Louisville, Tennessee. Myself, my daughter, and 2 other friends went through a speed trap in a little town in Tennessee called Benton. And we all were cited, and we all had Legal Shield, fortunately. The attorneys, different attorneys went to court. There were no fines that we paid, and everyone had no points, except my daughter did get 1 point because she was actually going 70 miles an hour in a 45. But everything else was resolved, and the last one got a ticket, got a citation for not using a seatbelt properly.
Well, thanks so much, Ted. Appreciate that. That's what happens when Ted leads the cavalcade of cars, right? Since he's the Legal Shield member for 20 plus years, he's leading them all. And here's what happens. Guess what? They get tickets. But I mean, seriously, these kinds of things happen to folks, right? You're just out driving, you're going away for the weekend, you're not paying attention. I still remember the story Dave Cibola used to tell when he was driving through the small little towns. You know, he was going to his beach home, and you know, he'd get pulled over, and the stories that he would tell as he's driving through these small little towns, going to his beachfront home and getting pulled over. And Legal Shield's there to help. I mean, we're not there to say go speed, you know, but sometimes you drive with a little bit of purpose and your foot gets a little bit heavy. So what great stories tonight. Listen, I'm excited, you know, for having our call once a month on Wednesday. So once a month on Wednesdays. So if, you know, the folks missed tonight's call, they'll have to catch the next one, right? You know, hopefully somebody's recording us. I can't tell if they are or not. Yes, they are. I see it in the top. But anyway, now I get the opportunity to go out to another a trainer that's going to talk a little bit tonight. And this couple's amazing. You know, I mean, I've watched them over the last several years. You know, I've seen them in tandem. I've seen Danny working by herself. I've seen, you know, them showing up and stuff. But here's what I've seen over the last, you know, 6, 7, 8 months. Showing up with purpose, showing up with intention, and setting records for themselves. I mean, that's the thing in this business. You want to continually set your own personal bests. And when you stay close in your personal best, you continue to excel. And so executive directors, you know, 2 months straight, and, you know, just some amazing, amazing folks. I'm going to take it now and turn it over to Danny and Tim Godin. The call is yours.
Well, thank you so much for all those kind words. Wow, I'm kind of speechless, but I do have the privilege, and Tim here has the privilege of going over the corporate announcements, kind of what's going on in May. So I did go ahead and put together a quick PowerPoint. I had a few minutes notice, but I went ahead and did this because I'm a techie and I can. So here's some corporate announcements. You know, here's an overview. You know, in May they did the Our Time Is Now 90-day run in April. Well, they extended that, which means double fast start bonuses for not only the person that fast start qualifies, but for the matching bonuses, right? And then we have the Business Builder, and it looks like this got cut off. I apologize, guys. This was really a quickie PowerPoint that I did, but we have the Business Builders with the PC for Life and the ED for Life. We have the Circle of Champions. Here's a good one for you right now. We have the Legal Shield Advantage Plus that everybody should upgrade to. It gives you advantages of the new associate perks, as well as some other things that are in there. Check that out. And it goes from $20.95 or $19.95, depending on how it was. It used to be either or if you paid bank draft or not. Now it's just $24.95 no matter what. We have the Business Builder Blitz, the Performance Club. And so I'm going to talk about, so here's the 90-day run. Again, it's just the double PC or the double fast start for your new associate, as well as the sponsor, and then the upline senior director or an executive directors as well. Sorry, guys. Gotta love the real life. And we have the PC push, which is if you get Performance Club with 75 in network premium and sponsor one associate by May 10th, you get $100 extra towards Performance Club. We have, if you do 100 in premium and 2 new associates, you get $200 of bonus money. Or if you do 150 in premium and sponsor 3 people, you'll get $400 in bonus money. And again, this is from the 1st through the 10th. All right, talked about the Business Builder for Life for anybody that is an ED and above. If you do 10 power team recruits and 1,000 in network premium, you'll get $1,000 bonus, and so on and so forth. And it goes up, and it has a lifetime retention multiplier as well. So I also want to talk about our new First Step and Fast Start. This is something that really excites me because we had struggled when they switched to the self-paced Fast Start with a lot of our new associates, and now we are back to, we can still send them kind of a fast start self-paced, which is the my.lsengage.com/first step. However, you can also register them for the live class the day they get started, and you can check out all of the calendar, LegalShieldCalendar.com, and see all of the dates and times for that. There are multiple classes every day. I love that. And then the new my.lsengage.com/first step, that first step, I went ahead and took it. It's really cool because it is really a good gateway for your interview with them, their why. It talks about why are you doing this business. It talks about how to get the apps on their phones, and it talks about how to really get them started, how to invite. There's new invitation scripts, and actually I just found out today, and I downloaded it, that they have a little picture right in lsengage.com of the scripts that your new associates can use. So those are some of the announcements that I have. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Do you have anything that you want to add for May?
Just going back to the new fast start, or the getting started correctly. If you've been in the business for a while and you've already, fast start qualified, whatever, go do it again. This is such a easy, seamless, easy to understand and navigate program for your new folks, and it's really good for you to understand what it looks like, so you can be excited, and you can always learn something. So it's highly recommended to go through it yourself again.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. And thanks, John, for the reminder. We do have Super Saturdays coming up in your different regions. So please make sure you get on the Legal Shield calendar and look at the different Super Saturdays. I'm kind of excited. The one here in Colorado is going to be both live, in person, and virtual. So we have Miss Katie Huff coming out, $200,000 ring earner. I love hearing from her. She's really exciting. But check out your areas as well and see who's coming, because Super Saturday is this weekend or next weekend, depending on your region, and definitely check out the calendar. So with that, I'm going to pass it on the Zoom over to our mentor, our leader, our founder of Success Partners, Mr. John Drennan.
Thanks so much, Danny. Great job. And I want to back up and first of all say thanks, Steve Beck, for being so reliable, coming on, opening with the music. I love the music choices, and doing the check-in. And Timmer Halligan, thank you so much. We actually had to adjust. Danny mentioned last minute. Jason Wardell, one of our new executive directors, was going to help out tonight, but he's actually under the weather and was not really in a position. So we had to reshuffle the deck. So Timmer, thank you. And Danny, thank you. And also, we started out acknowledging brand new people, and clearly we have to do a better job collectively promoting, because we've got a lot of brand new people who haven't been introduced to any of you, who haven't experienced this with Success Partners. So like Darren's on here, just joined a few days ago. Think how awesome that is for him. But if someone joined, let's say in February, and they're missing this, it's costing them, because so much success comes from the accumulated showing up that we do over time. So let's do a better job with the brand new people, and it's a real plus for them.
This is Angie. Can I just introduce my young lady? I thought she was going to speak.
Yeah, let's do that, Angie, please.
Her name is Yolanda Sandifor, and she joined in April, and she's excited. And that's the lady with that beautiful crown on her head, wherever she disappeared to.
I see her on my page too, because I noticed that photo, and I actually private messaged her. It's just a lovely photo. So, and Yolanda, if you're available to unmute yourself and just introduce yourself, we would welcome that. If not, Angie, thank you for introducing Yolanda.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yolanda Sandifer. I'm from Warner Robins, Georgia. Angie introduced me to Legal Shield. I joined. I heard a lot of great stuff about it. I'm very interested in going forward with it. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Great. Well, thank you, Angie, and thank you, Yolanda, and welcome aboard. And we look forward to following your progress. And I want to go out to a couple special folks before I dive into the last part of tonight, and that's the training segment. You know, we heard from Timur Halligan. Timur Halligan's a $150,000 ring earner. And that means he's earned that amount in 12 months. And a Millionaire Club member, that means he's earned over $1 million. And he's done that part-time. And I know a lot of you are on track to do that, whether it happens in 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. The average Millionaire Club member did it in about their 13th year. We've got someone on here who's a $250,000 ring earner, who's earned a few $1 million in this company, who also worked in the corporate office for a while when we were acquired back in 2011 and brought just enormous value to everybody. This is a fun-loving guy. And for me, it's an honor to call a friend, somebody we've worked together for many, many years. And like me, he moved out of Michigan many years ago. He makes his home in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and that's Mr. Tony Petrill. Tony, I want to welcome you to come on, share your story. People are going to love to hear from you, my friend.
Thanks so much, John. Can you hear me okay?
You're coming through great.
All right. Well, it's funny, I'm in the playroom here at our house, and I've just noticed that I'm sitting at the keyboard, the piano, but I've got it, my cell phone is propped up, and it really is cool. Does it look like I have a halo over my head? You know?
Kind of godlike, Tony.
Man, I'm not moving. I'm staying right here, and you can't see my wrinkles because I look like, this is the best. I'm staying here forever. I want to screenshot this, send it to my wife. Anyways, really excited to be here with Success Partners, and John Drennan and I, we were at the launch of Legal Shield. I mean, 20 years ago, my first Super Saturday, he was the host of it, 20 plus years ago. And we've broken bread together many times. We've vacationed together. I remember when we were in Punta Cana, all expense paid trip with Legal Shield, when John said, I'm taking a look at Louisville, and I just was, wow, and that's what time freedom's all about. So John just asked me to share with you my story. I saw Legal Shield 20 plus years ago. My wife, Tanya, and I was $47,000 in credit card debts. I didn't know what to do. I just shared on the Shield Nation Zoom Sunday night when another longtime friend, Debbie George, interviewed me. And I talked about how I met with a bankruptcy attorney. I didn't file bankruptcy. This was after I was already an associate. This was actually after I made some money in Legal Shield, but I was a bad steward with my money. And it's stories a lot of people might not tell you. You see the Ring Earners Millionaire Club members, but man, it was up and down with the business. But I just want to say my background was insurance sales, and my general agent, I sold life insurance. He got paid commissions. He got paid overrides off his associates, his agents, and he got paid renewals. But here's the key. He got paid residual renewals off of what he sold, and he got renewals off of what his team sold, even if they quit. That's a brilliant business model. And when I saw Legal Shield, I said, this is it. This is just what that guy with the Big Daddy Mercedes, the corner office, the house on the lake, this is the three elements he had: commission, overrides, and residual income. This is it. And I looked at Tanya, I said, there's no way I'm quitting this one, because I quit the insurance industry and my renewal stopped after a couple of years. There's no way I'm leaving this one. So here we are 20 plus years later. We've got this house. This is the playroom. The playroom is, I don't know how many 100 square feet for Noah. We've got a trampoline there, a basketball hoop right over there. We've got 7 bathrooms in this house. All the food is organic that gets delivered. We drive what we want to drive. It's private schools. We do what we want to do. As a matter of fact, we're hitting the road in the next 30 days to take a year's vacation on the road. So we might even sell the house just to get up and go, upgrade our RV and take off. I mean, that's the time freedom. But the residual income and the team income is going to continue to pour into the household. We'll continue to pour into the bank. And I'll be able to build my team, homeschool my kids. I got a 15, soon to be 16-year-old and a 6-year-old. But that's what it's all about. Build a book of business. I market memberships that stick on the books, and we recruit people who market memberships that stick on the books. And then you've got the long term. Now, it took my dad 40 years to have a $3,600 a month pension from the city of Flint, Michigan and the county of Flint, Michigan, 2 pensions totaling $3,600 a month roughly. Took him 40 years to do that. Our renewals started kicking in the 8th year of Legal Shield, and they were over $10,000 a month. 40 years for 3,600, 8 years for 10 grand a month. And that's what you can do with Legal Shield. But what if it takes you double that? What if it's 16 years? Is it worth it? Yeah, that's better than 40. What if it takes you 26 years? Is it worth it? Of course, that's better than 40 years, right? And what if it's only $4,000 a month? You're still beating my dad who had 2 pensions, right? Because you worked Legal Shield part-time for X amount of years. But most people want it now. I want 6 figures at 5 hours a week now. I don't know where you can find that. But what if you built a residual income business with Legal Shield, and after X amount of years, the money just kept coming in? So John, I wanted to also let you know that Elisa Parks is on with us tonight. Elisa came over to my house today. She is a friend of Tanya and mine. She's been in a Bible study on Thursdays with Tanya and the girls for a few months. And she came over today, said, I've been a member before, show me Legal Shield business, showed it to her. She's coming on board tonight, but even before we have an appointment tonight to get her to come on board, she's on this Zoom to hear the stories. And that's what it's all about, to find people who want to make a difference. And I'm not going to share her why, but I mean, who doesn't want to make multiple streams of income? She's been in real estate for 17 years. And we are just super excited. She's in the Charlotte market here to be able to partner with Elisa and start marketing Legal Shield. So she's got her game plan for the PC push. She's got her game plan to get that $100 or $200 or $400 bonus by midnight on Monday. We've got the game plan. We've already got a sit down on Sunday. We've already got another sit down scheduled on Monday. She's got a couple other people that we're going to start sending the videos to in the morning. So, I mean, it's speed marketing because we've got the product and we've got someone who wants to make a difference and make some money doing it. So John, I'll turn it back to you. I really appreciate it. I don't want to put Lisa on the spot. I just texted her and said, hey, I'm on a Zoom. And she went ahead and got on it. And so she's showing up already, John.
Well, that's
Thanks,
awesome.
everybody. Turn it back to
Tony,
you.
thanks so much. I see her on. Elisa, welcome aboard. And you're with a champion there. And folks, that's what you get with someone who's earning 6 figures annually, Millionaire Club members several times over, that many nuggets in just a few minutes. And I will say this, because I know we tend to look at people like Tony and go, oh my gosh, you know, I want to get where you're at. Well, Tony, I remember the days when you were carrying the overhead projector in the snow into a small hotel, and maybe it was you and 3 associates, but you did it the following week and the following week. And you had people saying, what are you doing? You nuts, you crazy, you do this every week. And now, you know, he's living life on his terms. So I always say, if you're doing things different from the masses, you're on track. If the masses are agreeing with you, you're off track. So Tony, you've been off what the masses are saying for quite a while. So congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, John.
All right, I want to move down to the Caribbean, and I hope she's available to come on real quick. Many of you know this lady, others don't, but she's been an entrepreneur for a long time, has done a lot of things. One of her income streams is Legal Shield. She's got an amazing property in the Virgin Islands, but still is on our stretch call every morning, still comes on our trainings, keeps up our calendar, helps with our team events. And that's Miss Alice Engelhardt. Alice, if you're available, I know this was like last minute. Could you come on and just tell people real briefly about our team calendar?
Okay, there I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're there. Go ahead.
Well, hi, everyone. This is Alice Engelhardt, and I am in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. And our team calendar, we have all sorts of things on it, including daily activities and different things like that. We also have on the Saturday of each week, we have tabs that have different things available. For instance, we have one for documents and forms. We've got another one for our YouTube SPI state channel. And actually, I noticed this is being recording, so I will probably get that downloaded and put it in our YouTube channel by tomorrow. So it'll be available for people to review. And when we have special things going on, they show up on the calendar. And it's at successpartnerscalendar.com. Anybody can go there. Like today, this is on the calendar. It will be on every month on the first Wednesday. And always the links there are active. So they are a good way to immediately get to the Zoom site. I think that's about it. Anything else? Oh, I can't hear you, John.
Yeah, I was muted. My lips were moving. That was fine, Alice. Thank you. And I want people to know who you are. And collectively, we just all appreciate everything you do. And also, it is one of my objectives that we'll have an executive director retreat at Alice's place once it's finished. It's called Celebration. I know multiple bedrooms and bathroom. It's amazing. I've been to the property. So Alice, thank you. We appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to finish up with our Millionaire Club member training. I'm doing it tonight. Other nights it will be Timur Halligan, Tony Petrill, Jim Harkma, Bob Cohen, different people like that. But I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen a little bit. I'm going to share my screen and invite you to take pictures. I've got just 1 or 2 PowerPoints here, but I'm going to talk about something that I first introduced back in 2015 when in Louisville, Kentucky, and some of you would have been at the event where I introduced this. Don't know if you'll remember it, but as you can see, it's called self-inventory. And I want to make sure I'm coming through okay. I just got a weird message on my screen and I heard something there. Are you guys hearing me?
Loud and clear, John.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Okay, this is a self-inventory, and it contrasts where we stumble versus where we thrive. And so first, we stumble when our attitude is below the line, and we thrive when it's above the line. So what do I mean? What's the line? And the line is that line where you cross from a negativity to positivity. So the line would be neutral. You want to be above the line. We want to light a room, not darken a room. We want to be upbeat, not downbeat. We want to edify people, not criticize people. You know, we want to be a shining light. We want to be the person that when someone says, oh, I lost my job, we're not throwing a pity party. We're saying, congratulations, that door closed. Let's look for the bigger door here. You know, this is an opportunity for you to step up and step out in life. So that's the difference. So the first self-inventory check is, where's my attitude? Secondly, we stumble if we are influenced by the opinions of others, because people got opinions and they will destroy you with them if you are vulnerable to them. But where we thrive is when our why is so strong, it withstands the opinions of others, whether it's family, friends, strangers, prospects, who are going to say some weird things. Over the years, I've heard that I'm going to go to jail because what I'm doing is not legal. I've heard, I don't believe you, John. Everything you just said, I don't believe you. You know, I've heard it's too good to be true. I've heard it all. And my why was always bigger than that. So check that in terms of your self-inventory. Thirdly, if we're affected by hearing no, now that's not criticism or opinions, that's just no. Hey, thanks for inviting me, but no thanks. Thanks for showing me what you showed me. It's not for me. You're gonna hear that. We thrive when we stay focused on the process, knowing that yeses will come. Tony just mentioned a yes that came from Lisa, who's coming on board tonight or tomorrow. But Tony's gotten a lot of no's over time. you're going to get a lot of no's. I love what Jim Harkma always said. His goal was 100 no's. He knew if he had 100 no's, he'd have at least 10 yeses. You know, before Jim got to 100 no's, he had 19 yeses, and those 19 led him to his first million in this business. So what's your self-inventory on? You're staying focused on the yeses coming your way. Fourthly, we stumble if we lack consistency. We're like that microwave trying to pop the popcorn, but you open the door too soon and it hasn't popped. You know, we thrive when we establish consistency of routines. And I know that's something I've been, and Timmer has been, and Tony. You know, anyone that's gotten to a millionaire club status has been consistent over time. I know I used to say, man, if I'm not at the event, call 911. I always let my leaders know if I wasn't going to be there so they didn't freak out. That was the level of consistency that you want to establish. So what's your self-inventory on you being consistent in your business and your efforts? Next, we stumble if we don't develop basic skills like sharing a testimony, you know, like doing a simple membership presentation, like doing a three-way call. But we thrive when we develop these basic skills. You got to have them, folks. And take inventory of yourself there. If there's something you really are afraid to do, you're not good at it, you don't do it, you don't like to do it, just practice it. Just work with it and become better. What's your self-inventory on that one? Next, we stumble if we're not teachable. And you know, most people are not. I sure wasn't when I got started. I would have told you I was, but I wasn't. Most people aren't. We're teachable when we just insist we do it our way. Or we're not teachable, I mean, but we are teachable when we adjust to doing it the way of the system. I always say you're teachable, not if you show up and take notes. You're teachable if you act on those notes, if you do what coaches are suggesting you do. And then finally on this slide, where we stumble is we don't sustain the process long enough. You know, we hit it hard for a week or a month or 90 days. That's not long enough to build a real business. You got to stay with it for quarter after quarter after quarter, year after year, if you want to get to millionaire club status. Now, that may not be you. You might want to get off at the elevator of $500 a month on a consistent basis. But even to get that, you've got to be consistent long enough. So where you thrive is when you remain on course no matter what. And you are going to have hiccups, and life is going to get in the way. You're going to have illness, injury, issues with family. You're going to have good things that come your way that can get in the way. You know, you find out you hit a jackpot on something, you get offered a promotion, you get this new opportunity, and those can get in the way as well. You got to stay on course. So I hope you took a picture of this page if you wanted to keep it. And now I'm going to the last page and continue where we stumble as we move slowly, so slowly that we never gain traction or momentum. And we thrive if we periodically do a blitz. Well, we say for 90 days, I'm going to let my family know to kind of count me out, because I'm going to put some bricks in the wall of our financial future. And Tony Petrill did that. That's how he went from almost 50 grand in debt and talking to a bankruptcy attorney to turning all of that around. Man, he hit it. I was there and watched it. And so if you want to move like a turtle and never get off the ground, you're just never going to get to the higher levels of appreciation of what's possible here. Next, we stumble if we fail to maintain focus on a singular objective. We thrive when we stay focused toward an objective. And you've heard me talk about it this way. You know, if a student went to college and every semester changed majors and just kept changing and just didn't focus on graduating, didn't focus on a major. I mean, they went from the sciences to the arts to history to teaching to, you know, music, and they're just constantly switching. Think what that does. Number one, you just never get anywhere. You never graduate. You never move on. You spend a lot of money. It creates a lot of frustration. It's just nowhere. So you got to focus. So my suggestion is decide at some point, I'm going to focus on building a team, or I'm going to focus on doing group. I actually talked today with a group trainer about being a field trainer with me, not because I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I want to be able to meet a business owner, be able to have the conversation about them taking a look at Legal Shield for their employees and then hand it off. That keeps me focused on my objective as a team builder. Okay, so what's your inventory on that? So we got two more, folks. Next, what's your attraction calibration? And how's it compare to what you want? So what do I mean by that? Well, attraction means just how you are totally calibrated in your thoughts, your words, your actions, your behavior toward the things you want. You know, if you want to break through and break out and get to, let's say, six-figure ring, you have to calibrate, and your attraction has to be toward that. So you can't not sign up for the convention. You know, you can't not have a list. There's just certain things in terms of your attraction that you have to emit. And so we thrive when our attraction calibration is totally in concert with what we want, what we've decided we want, and where we're going. And then finally, self-inventory. When we stumble big time, when we fail to use and follow the system that's been taught, our tools, our events, and our team, and we thrive when we're highly system dependent. And that's, you know, just doing the system. And the primary system here is third party, and there's three parts to it. It's tools, it's events, and it's relying on your team for three ways: third party support, workout partners, etc. So if you didn't get a picture of this and wanted to, take it real quick. And with that, I am going to stop my share and encourage you to go back to this and literally grade yourself on this self-inventory and just see where you are and see where you need to make adjustments in relationship to what it is you want, the goals and aspirations and intentions you have for yourself. So I hope that was helpful for you tonight. Hey, we're going to wrap up with our DJ, Mr. Steve Beck, giving us a very special video here. It's a few minutes long. And Steve, I appreciate it. With that, sir, back over to you.
Thank you, John. I just want to warn you all, this is an older video, so the video quality is pretty grainy. It's not your device. It's just an old video, but the audio is absolute gold. Here we go.
Information on recruiting in this business. One of the most important areas, I believe, in starting off in the business is really how do you approach people. And sometimes people complicate this area, but I think it's relatively simple. In fact, a number of years ago, after a lot of trial and error, I came up with a little three-step program that I'd like to share with each and every one of you right now. Sometimes when you call people up, you get on the phone with them and you want to tell them too much about our business. And as a result of it, you find yourself maybe a half an hour or 45 minutes later, and you really start thinking about, well, you know, I've shared a lot of information, but really they haven't seen this. So a long time ago, I decided that I was going to use a couple key things that were going to help me build a business. And one of the key things is the word show. You know, when you think about your life, you really didn't buy your house by not taking a look at it. You didn't buy a car by not looking at it. And when it comes to a business opportunity, there's some things in the world of prepaid legal that you need to sit down with a brand new prospect and share with them. Now, the second thing is, what time frame do you need to get people's attention with? And a lot of times I would ask for an hour, 45 minutes, and I found out that people just didn't have the patience for that much time. So I came up with 15 minutes. Why 15 minutes? Because it was very simple. Inside of 15 minutes, I could open up a placemat brochure and walk everybody through what our coverage was. So again, 15 minutes was a key number as far as minutes were concerned. The third thing was you may or may not be interested. Why is that? Because simply the fact is it put people in a comfort zone. They felt very relaxed, and so did I. You know, so very simply, I just want to walk you through this, that if you're talking to a brand new person, a brand new prospect in this business, all you want to do is simply say, look, there's something important I want to show you. I'd like to stop by for about 15 minutes, and by the way, you may or may not be interested. Now, even if you get these out of order, it's not going to make a big difference, because, again, if you say the same thing again, just going, hey, I'd like to stop by for about 15 minutes, something important I want to show you. And by the way, you may or may not be interested. And last but not least, you may or may not be interested. Like to stop by for about 15 minutes, something important I want to show you. Again, no matter how you say these, they're going to wind up basically doing the same approach. And I find this to be a very simple way of operating your business. Along with that, I want to talk about 3 other things that are very important from an approach standpoint. These 3 steps I have found, again, along with what I've just shared with you, critical and very important also. 1 is making a contact, 2 is building a friendship, and 3 is basically sharing your profession with people. So when I get on a plane, one of the first things I do is just simply introduce myself. Hi, my name is Dave Savola, and they introduce themselves back to me. And then I start, by the way, where are you from? And they'll give me a little location or the state that they reside in, the city that they reside in. And I'll start building a little bit of rapport with this individual, talking a little bit about their family, talking about their children, maybe some of their hobbies and things that they enjoy doing. And of course, they come back and do the same thing with me. So we're building a little bit of friendship from the standpoint of the number 2 thing. The third thing I always say is, by the way, what do you do for a living? And of course, they're going to share whatever industry that they may be in. And I'm going to compliment that. And they're probably going to ask me the same thing. By the way, Dave, what do you do? In fact, if they don't ask me, I really come back and say, probably you're thinking right now, what do I do for a living? And when they say, well, what do you do, Dave? And I say, look, prepaid legal services. And I don't say any more than that. And the reason for that is because I don't want to complicate it, and they've never heard of our business. I've been around the industry now for about 14 years in the world of prepaid legal. And I'm going to tell you, in all my travels across the United States and Canada, I've yet to sit with anybody that's ever owned a membership in our business or anybody that's even been an associate yet. Nobody knows who we are. So again, when you say prepaid legal services, the first thing they come back and say, well, Dave, how does that work? What is that? And my simple example is I said, look, we do for lawyers what medical insurance has done for doctors. And then, again, I just walk them through by basically having a placemat brochure in my pocket. I can just sit down and they say, well, how does this work? And I said, look, here's as simple as it is. Let me just hand you this and you can read it back to me. And in many cases, I let them read the titles to me because, again, it's a learning process and they start to understand what our service and our product's all about. So in this approach, these 2 different types of approach, keep in mind, show, 15 minutes, you may or may not be interested, a very simple way of establishing that appointment with an individual. Making a contact, building a friendship, and then talking about your business is something I do every single day. And if you get in the right habits of doing this, you're going to find that your business is going to grow much faster. You know, habits are going to create the success pattern that you need to develop in this business.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm glad you were all here this evening for our first effort at this first Wednesday team training. Go ahead and put it in your calendar for next month so you don't forget, and let's see everybody back and bring some new associates with you. Everyone have a wonderful night.
Hey, I
Good
have
night.
one question.
Go ahead with your question, sir.
Yeah, where can we find